But as you can see, it does not take much damage for the rate to go way higher than $2,000 or $3,000. The question is, should you get your auto insurance involved if you've been in a small little fender bender, if you scraped your vehicle against another person's vehicle, if you scraped your vehicle against the side of the building or a car garage? Should you get your auto insurance involved, or should you try to pay out of pocket and get in contact with collision shops or an auto shop and get a quote from them and just pay out of pocket? Now keep in mind, it doesn't matter if you're at fault or not at fault. If your car insurance is paying for it, there's a good possibility that your rate's going to go up, and it can go up by a lot. It can go up by anywhere from 20% to 100% depending on your car insurance. Now, here's the thing, can you? Are you allowed to get a quote? I mean, if you go and you hit somebody or you scrape somebody, if they're not a good friend or a family member, they're going to force you and say, hey, you're going to need to get your insurance company involved or I'm going to call the cops. So most likely, you will have to get your auto insurance involved. But if you have the luxury, if the price is cheap enough and you're allowed to do it, or you have a close friend or a family member, you may be able to get the quote yourself. Hopefully so. Now, post-pandemic, that's what we're in. It's 2022, 2023, and now post-pandemic. What you think is what it would cost, you might be shockingly disappointed. That's a lot higher than you think, and that will be my situation in what I was involved in. Something I thought was going to be $200 or $300 was a lot more. And as you can see here in this picture, I'm parked right beside my neighbor, and so sure enough, she gets in the driver's seat, I get in the passenger seat, and I was thinking that she had more practice with her mom and backing out into parking spots and everything. I was wrong. So immediately, as she put it in the reverse, she started turning. So, doesn't take an Einstein. My front passenger bumper went into her driver rear bumper and quarter panel. And it scraped, and as you can see here, damage was done in two places. It was done on a quarter panel, as you see here, and it was done on the rear bumper. And there was no structural damage into the metal. It was just, light paint damage done through to the primer. I want to drive. I want to take you home. I'm going to come back and let my neighbor know, because my neighbor I don't think saw. And sure enough, I took my daughter to her mom's, came back, knocked on the door, and I didn't even know my neighbor's name. I know, shame on me. We literally have been living in the same complex for 5 years. I didn't even know her name. And she was so gracious and so nice. So you see there the damage that was done to her car. Well, how about my car? Actually, her paint transferred onto my car. And I'll tell you what I did to get it off. It's pretty simple on my end. I didn't even have to take my car to a collision place. He's like, don't worry. I'm like, look, whatever it costs, I'll pay. So I was thinking, okay, it's going to take a little bit of touch-up paint, maybe $200 or $300 at the very most. If it was an older car, heck, I would have offered to touch it up myself. But she's got a 2020 Toyota Corolla. It's a brand new car. I wouldn't want scratches on my car, and I wouldn't want some idiot with no repair knowledge or auto body knowledge to start getting paint and start painting it, right? It's like, I know a couple of shops, whatever. And she's like, are you sure? It's like, do you want to get your insurance company involved? And so I thought about it. Should I get my insurance company involved? And then I thought, oh no, I'm with Progressive, and you have 5 years to your last accident. So if you're at fault, and of course I was at fault, if you're at fault, then you got 5 years. And if you haven't had an accident in 5 years with Progressive, even if you're at fault, it won't affect your insurance rate. And of course it depends if you got Geico or whatever insurance company you have. They all vary. I knew in 2018, which was only 4 years, that my car collapsed on the side of the interstate and I had a flat tire. That's a whole different story, and I can link you to that video at the end of this video. So I knew I would be at fault, and my insurance rate would go up. With Progressive, I'm seeing online like 80%. It would last for 3 to 5 years, and that's what the rate is. For 3 to 5 years, you're going to be paying higher insurance rates, and then it'll fall off your insurance and you'll be normal again. Well, if you start doing the math, if I'm paying $600, a year, $600-700 a year, you're looking at anywhere from well over $2,000 that I would be paying over 5 years in higher insurance rates. And I'm thinking, I automatically did the math in my head, like, hey, this is not smart. Let me pay out of pocket. I'm thinking $300-400. So she gets a quote, and she gets 2 quotes, and she comes back. And one of the quotes, I'm not kidding you, was $1,600 for this amount of damage. I was like, what? I mean, of course I didn't say that to her, but in my head I was like, what? And then she had another one that was like $1,000. I'm like, okay, now we're closer to the ballpark. I went to a local place and took pictures of all the damage and took it to the local place. It was pretty reputable. And they came back, as you can see here, around $900. And then she's like, look, I got someone even closer, and I've heard really good things about them. She's doing all this groundwork for me, driving to 2 or 3 different places. So sure enough, she comes back, and she finally gets a rate of about $590, which is actually about 40 minutes away. I'm like, okay, this is more than I wanted to pay, but my goodness, when I compare it to the $1,600 and $1,000, for this amount of damage, I'm gonna accept it. So it would take 2 days to repair. Thought she was going to be able, while it was getting repaired in the repair shop, she thought she had family members to help her take her to work, and she didn't. So she asked me if I could rent her a car. Over 2 days, it cost like $150 to rent her a car, which I was happy to do because my insurance company would have done that for her. And I paid to put a little bit of gas in her gas tank, and she got it fixed, and this is what it looks like. And they did an incredible good job for $600. As you saw there in my example, it was a lot more. So what I would recommend you do is shop around. As you see there, I had a high rate of $1,600 all the way down to $600. So you want to shop around. Get at least 3 or 4 different quotes. Just don't get a quote from somebody. But also, too, don't go to some willy-nilly Craigslist person who's someone that they may be able to do the repair, maybe not. You want to make sure you go to a place that's done a lot of repairs and they have a lot of good reviews. And they might have anywhere from 20 to 30 great reviews. That's who you want to go to. So as you can see here from this chart, your rate can go anywhere up from 18% all the way to 120%. So it will go up depending on which insurance that you have. And these rate increases that you see here is for a year. So you're seeing your rately increase going up anywhere from $500 up to over $1,000 a year. So you do the math, over 3 to 4 years, you're looking at an additional $2,500 to $3,500. So the simple answer is, if it's anything under $2,500 to $2,000 and you have that luxury to pay out of pocket and you have the money in the bank or you can borrow it, I would highly recommend you just pay out of pocket. But as you can see, it does not take much damage for the rate to go way higher than $2,000 or $3,000. So you just may as well get your insurance company involved. And it stinks, but just know that after 3 to 5 years, then it'll be over you.
You, come here. Yes, you. I need your help. Come here. You see this right here? This wall's empty. I need a YouTube play button. In order for me to get a YouTube play button, I need 100,000 subscribers. I got what, 20, 30,000 right now? I need 100. I need you, please, you to subscribe. You think my subscription doesn't help? Yes, it does. I need 100,000. I visualize what I want in this world. And what I want is a YouTube play button. I want a YouTube play button, and I need you to subscribe. You can help me. You can make your dreams come true. Just visualize it. Whatever you want in this world, you can have. You can have all your dreams come true. I want you to help me make my dreams come true. All right? So please, please subscribe.